announced his retirement over the weekend, me and Ashley came up with a top 5 list of who we would want John Cena to wrestle before he calls it a day. We're going to go through Ashley's list first. And Ashley, I'm going to start with the most interesting choice I thought you made. And that's going to be John Cena versus the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling, DA's Tanahashi. Tell me why.
So I feel like these are two guys who kind of started around a similar time, became very big and like a staple in their respective companies around the same time, have had some of the biggest careers. I feel like they've always like respected each other's work. They've almost sort of always been linked to like, oh, this could be like a dream match. And I feel like with all of these, forbidden doors and prohibited portals being opened, why not? Now would be the chance. If John Cena is about to call it quits, we know Tanahashi is kind of on his last run. We saw it this month getting knocked out of even the G1 this year. I would love to see kind of these two guys who have had kind of similar career paths and popularity for their respective companies clash in what could be like one of the coolest matches in crossovers of all time.
I got to say, when I saw you put his name on this list, I was like, ooh, that would be fun. And boy, that would be a match that a lot of people would never think we would be able to see. And if we were able to pull it off in 2025, I'd be all for it. So your second choice you gave me was one that's going to be on my list a little bit later. It's Uncle Howley, Bo Dallas. And I feel like we both had the same reason. It's because the history of Cena with Bo's brother. Is that the reason why we have this on our list?
Yeah, especially because it was such a big, prominent feud that gave us a lot of these characters that like Bray Wyatt's character was kind of like referring to, like the Sister Abigail, the Rambling Rabbit, and stuff like that. So I could definitely see them doing something very cool with this Wyatt Six faction and having like this ultimate like Cena versus Uncle Howdy match, and kind of like I think it would be a very cool way to like also tribute for Bray.
I do too, and I feel like Cena would be wanting to at least have a little interaction with the Wyatt Six on his way out, since he had that interaction with Bray, and literally, I think Bray's last WrestleMania match was that cinematic match he had with John Cena, where it was a little different. A lot of people didn't like it at the time, but looking back on it, it was entertaining, and it was able to show John Cena being able to make fun of himself.
Yeah. No, and that's why I kind of picked him. I know you said he's on your list as well, but that was all I could think of immediately was like that. Like, it's funny that, like you said, like people kind of had their opinions about the match at the time, but like when I think of like Bray Wyatt, when I think of him, like that's one of the first like feuds and matches that comes to my mind.
Well, the next person on your list is the face that runs the place sometimes, as we get another John Cena versus AJ Styles match. And you know what? I'm all here for it because this was a fun match when AJ Styles debuted in WWE back in the day. And I can't believe that AJ Styles has been in the company as long as he has now. And one more Cena AJ Styles feud, please. Yes, and thank you.
Yeah, I mean, especially like I said earlier, like AJ Styles has made his plans clear in that he doesn't really intend to continue wrestling all that much. Let these two go out and have one more, just for old time's sake. I think like we already know, like AJ Styles is one of the best wrestlers like in the world. So him and John Cena coming back to kind of have this like one last time for both of them, I think that could be money.
I gotta say, that's money that I'll be willing to fork down to see this freaking match. Now, the next person on your list will appear on my list, as we both think that Cena versus Carmelo Hayes needs to happen in 2025 before Cena calls it a day. Ashley, tell me why.
I think Carmelo is the future. I think he is a guy they should be putting some chips on, and I think Cena working with him on his way out is just a no-brainer to give him like to get him to the next level.
You know, when I saw Carmelo Hayes get called up to SmackDown, get drafted #1 overall to SmackDown, I was like, they have a plan, they have a vision. And so far, it's been Carmelo Hayes eating loss after loss after loss. he needs a signature win. And what bigger signature win to give your young future heel than a victory over John freaking Cena?
Yeah, like he Cena on his way out. You can. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect. There can be some shenanigans. Mellows the heel. I think that would be like the biggest rub he could get, honestly.
Well, your fifth and final choice is also a classic John Cena foil as we go down to John Cena versus Randy Orton one last time.
I feel like you gotta. Their careers and time in WWE are so inextricably linked. I feel like this is like a must have on this list.
Well, you got to know, I mean, like they come from that dream class out of OVW, Ohio Valley Championship Wrestling, as it was Orton, Cena, Shelton Benjamin, Brock Lesnar. And as you go for the years now, we have whittled that class down. And in the WWE, it's basically Cena and Orton who's left. And I gotta say, Orton versus Cena one last time would be a fine match. Maybe that's Cena's partner in his final match ever, and that's how Cena walks off from professional wrestling.
Yeah, something like that. I feel like Orton's gonna be involved somehow.
I gotta say that was a nice selection on your part. So allow me to introduce you to my list. We already hit my number one pick. It was Carmelo Hayes, and like I said before, when we were talking about Ashley's picks, Carmelo Hayes needs a freaking signature win, and what better win to give him than a victory over John Cena? So my number two pick for you. Hang on a second. Yeah. Oh, I missed my number two pick. Oh, okay. So we'll do this. My number three pick is All Eagle Ethan Page, the current NXT champion. I never believed until about 24 hours ago, after Cena announced his retirement, that we could possibly see Ethan Page versus John Cena, and now I want it.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, Ethan Page has done super well for himself in NXT, and it could be a very cool like match we've never seen before.
Very true. And I'm gonna go with Andy here for my number two pick that I actually didn't put on my list. I'll take Cody or Gunther to add to this John Cena wish list. Andy, good choices. John Cena versus Gunther. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. Yes. Okay, sign me up. I'm all for it. So getting back to
would be a good choice.
Oh, Cena versus Gunther. Can you imagine Cena versus Gunther in Berlin? We've been thinking it's going to be a world title match. It could be a world title match as Gunther as the champion versus John Cena. Let's let that one sink in for a couple days. That'd be something we would be talking about in a couple episodes on Ready Free Professional Wrestling, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Now back to my list. My number four pick was one that you said as well as Bo Dallas. Simply for the fact that he has a history with both Rotunda brothers. And I got a feeling that he's going to do something with Bo to get Bo over. And I feel like maybe it could be a possible WrestleMania feud where you have the Wyatt Six defeat Cena, and that's how Cena retires from professional wrestling.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, like I think like John Cena is like obviously very open to doing the kind of like weird stuff and the kind of like unorthodox stuff that the Wyatt like family, the Wyatt Six has done in the past and is doing right now. So I think him on his way out, working with this kind of like new group and having like a like kind of a tribute to Bray without it being a direct tribute could be one of the coolest things they put together in a while.
Okay, so my last choice on my list, say his name and he appears. So John Cena versus Joe Hendry, because everybody believes in Joe Hendry. And can you imagine Joe Hendry versus Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect? It could be Bound for Glory. It could be a WWE pay-per-view. Let's just do it.
Yeah, honestly, it's all the fan support. Like I could see like dueling chants going for like days.
I gotta say, I don't know who would be the heel in this match. I don't think anybody would be able to boo anybody in this match. Cena may be quasi the heel here, as everybody wants to get Joe Hendry into the WWE, and they're gonna be like cheering mad for Joe Hendry. I just want to see this chaos.
I think you could keep them both babyface, especially like it's kind of like as like goofy as like Joe Hendry is, you know, with the big smile and the you know, like as he turns around all the time. I could definitely see them like working that into it, and like John Cena's like always been funny, so like he could definitely play off that, and I think you could just have them both be like two pretty funny baby faces going into it, but like having a very good in ring match.
You know what? What we need is Joe Hendry to do John Cena's intro song, because Joe Hendry has a very long history of making custom intro songs for his opponents. And I can't wait to see what he would come up for John's freaking Cena.
Yeah, that would be good.
So, you know what? Let us know. Leave your pick in the comments below here on our YouTube channel. And next week, we'll go through them and see who you want to see John Cena's the last 5 opponents be.